listening to the Rapport Podcast Network.
The Oklahoma Sooners are one game closer to playing in the SEC against an SEC opponent, I should say, and it's against the Houston Cougars this week in Week 2 in Norman. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go through players to watch, some expectations for the team, and even give our predictions here live on Sooner Spotlight. Welcome in, everybody, to another live edition, our pregame show for the Oklahoma Sooners here on Sooner Spotlight. Super excited to get into it and excited to be back live with you guys. I'm your host, Josh Mahler. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's the best way to get all of the updates for this show right now. We are trying to build a community, so I want to hear from you guys. Please either drop it in the chat, comment on one of the videos. You can DM me over there. You can send us an email at soonerspotlightpod@gmail.com. Let us know how you guys would like to build a community, because I've been asked to try to build some sort of community around this show using either Discord, Facebook. I don't know if there's a good way to do that over on Twitter. I guess X is what I'm supposed to be calling it. I always call it formerly known as Twitter. But let me know what you guys think would be best so we can try to build a community, because I want to hear from you guys. Again, I kind of pride this show not being a Sooner Sports show where we talk at you guys. I want you guys to talk with us. So let's try to build a community. What would be the best way to do that? Do we do that on Facebook, Discord? Is there another method that we should be doing that? Of course, when we get big enough, there will definitely be a bigger community to be able to spread that love with other Sooner fans. But first off, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button as well. Please hit that like button. It helps us out a lot in the algorithm here on YouTube to be able to find other Sooner fans like yourself. Today is our pregame show. We are going to talk all things Oklahoma Sooners against the Houston Cougars, Week 2 matchup in Norman. It's going to be a fun one, another one under the lights, and guess what, guys? It's the first time that we're going to see our Oklahoma Sooners on the SEC network. That's right. I mean, that might not mean anything to you, and if you have DirecTV, get rid of it. Cancel DirecTV. Toss that thing out the window, burn it in the burn barrel, whatever you got to do, because DirecTV will not sign a deal with Disney as a whole. So ESPN, ABC, SEC Network, all that stuff, you're not going to be able to watch your Oklahoma games, because I think 90% of our games are going to be through ESPN's networks. So if you have DirecTV, guys, get rid of it. You're not going to be able to watch the Oklahoma games. But SEC Network, Does that mean anything to you guys? Because it's not the Longhorn Network anymore. So we finally got rid of that crappy Big 12 network that was always ran by Texas for some stupid reason. Looking at this and looking ahead into what we have, I'm excited, because it finally means we are an SEC team. Guys, if you would like to support the show a little bit further, go down in the description down below and check out the merch store. There's a bunch of merch up. I'm wearing one of my hats. We've got a bunch in stock, and so we're ready to send it all out. I want to get rid of all of it. There's going to be some giveaways, so if we can see what's selling good, we can create more. And I've also been given the recommendation by some of you to add some hoodies, some long sleeve shirts, because it's almost fall season. It gets a little chilly in the fall, right? So we will definitely be doing that as well. Feel free to give me recommendations for what you would like to see in that merch store, but it's a great way to help us out. So go, please check out the merch store and just see what you like in there. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. But again, as always, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Best way to help us out over here on YouTube, so we can keep on going and so we can kind of build this thing up to what we want it to be. We've kind of gotten it to a slow down stage, so it would help a lot if you would share this with one of your friends, just one friend. Each of you just share with one friend if you could, with a Sooner friend, obviously, unless I know we have some Tennessee fans that like to tune in. I know we have a couple of Auburn fans, I think, that even tune in. So heck, just share it with all of your friends. Why not? But let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. We've got a game that is going to be a lot of fun for us to watch as Sooner fans, but everyone else around in the media is probably going to say it's another boring one. It's another one that you see the Sooners thump up on a little team. And if you didn't watch the episode that dropped earlier this morning, it was with Parker Ainsworth. I think his prediction was something like 24-21. He's being extremely optimistic for his Cougars, and he knows that he's being unrealistic with that hope, but that's what he's hoping for. He's hoping to hope that into existence, and I'm sure by today he might have even changed his mind over to, hey, the Cougars just pulled off the biggest upset that we've seen in Oklahoma history, possibly. But yeah, not going to happen. But he did have some very good thoughts on the Cougars, kind of telling us some names to watch out for. And so if you haven't watched that episode, after this live stream, go over and check that out. Jump in the live chat down below. I've got my producer back here. He's going to help us out so we can see those comments this week a lot easier. We're going to dive through those comments, check it all out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Let's start off with players to watch. We've got some fun players to look out for, and we saw a glimmer of the players last week. We had 84 players play last week. I don't know if you guys heard that yet, and I know I've said this at least 3 or 4 times since last week, but we had 84 players play last week. So we saw quite a few players out there that we're probably not even going to see throughout the season. So super awesome to see that. I love that. I love the fact that we had so many players out there. We had a lot of young guys. I was really shocked, and I'm just going to go ahead and start off on the offense. Really shocked to see Taylor Tatum get in there so early. I think he touched the ball first in the first quarter. So that was awesome to see, and he was a bright spot. I want to see more big runs from him, not just some good, solid runs that we saw from him. I expect that from him. He's a 5-star running back, one of the best in his Class 8. He might just be a 4-star running back. I might be overselling him, but he plays like a 5-star running back. He deserves it. And you know what? That number 8, when he steps in the backfield, he's going to be a force to reckon with. DeMarco Murray was extremely happy to get him signed. And yeah, he's going to be a star at Oklahoma. He's only a freshman. Sooner fans have already fallen in love with Taylor Tatum. They know what to expect from him already just from that first game. He was a big-time difference maker, so I love to see him out on the field. He averaged 13.8 yards per carry, almost 14 yards per carry on 5 carries last week. I mean, say what you will. I know it was just Temple, but you can't take away the bright spots where we see him. And Taylor Tatum was absolutely one of those. So, yeah, 100%. I love to see what we saw from him. Sam Franklin was another one that surprised me, another young running back that stepped out there. I didn't really expect to see him much at all, if even once. And not only did we see him, we saw him with 4 carries, just over 11 yards per carry. So, a couple of young backs. Love to see those guys. Shout out to both of them for a great performance last week. I would love to see both of them get in again this week when it's an opponent that we know we're going to cruise past. We know we should be able to cruise past, I should say. That for the team, let them think this is going to be a battle and go out there and play all 4 quarters. Us as fans, we can talk however we want, though. I don't anticipate any of the players watching this right now on a Friday. So if they are, I'm a little concerned that they're even watching any kind of media, especially about them right now, this close to game time. But going forward, I would love to see them. A couple of guys up on the line. I think there was a lot of overreaction on the offensive line. And before I get too much further, I want to let everybody know what I want from you guys is comment down below in the live chat so I can see it. What are your score predictions for this Oklahoma-Houston game? What are your score predictions? I want to see that because we're going to get to that towards the end of the episode. Overall game predictions, too, if you've got any of those, throw those in there. But going back to the offensive line, some concerns for sure. But what we saw was an offensive line that didn't struggle. And I called 2 players out, and I know some people cringe when you call specific players out, but I'm an Oklahoma fan just like you guys. I love this team. I love each and every one of these players that dedicates their time to improve this team, to build this team, and try to make this team better. And there's 2 players that I also love with that same passion on this team. I'll back it up to Spencer Rattler days. A lot of Sooner fans calling for his head. I think the criticism of Spencer Rattler, some of it might have been deserving, some of it, not all of it, and I'm okay with the criticism, calling for his head to be cut off, basically, to basically cut him out of the starting position, and we want Caleb, cheering against Spencer. I hate all that. You don't ever cheer against your players, but I'm going to call 2 guys out that I think I've already called out on this show. I'm going to call these 2 guys out because I love them as Oklahoma players, and I want them to improve. Spencer Brown, number 58, our right tackle, and our right guard, Febechi Wiwu. Those are 2 guys I'm going to call out, not because I'm not criticizing them. I'm being critical of them, I suppose, but I'm calling them out because, hey, I want to see improvement from you guys this week. I want to see improvement from Spencer Brown and Fabechi Wiwu this week. I want to see that from them because I know what they're capable of. I know that they're big guys. They're big, strong guys. And I know Michigan State fans told us watch out about Spencer Brown, but I don't care what Michigan State had to say because Michigan State is not Oklahoma, and Michigan State doesn't have a guy coaching their offensive line named Bill Biedenbow. So I want to see these two guys, and I'm going to call them out because I want to see improvement from them. I want these guys to be starters. I want them to be worthy of being starters. And there's other guys that could step in their place that I think played just fine last week for the little that we saw them. But these two players, Spencer Brown, Fabechi Wiwu, I want to see them. So if you see 54 and 58 in the game, pay attention to them, see what they're doing because those two players, I want to see a better game from them. And hopefully you think the same too. We had issues on the right side of the line. Anytime that we had tackles for a loss or sacks, which a couple of those sacks I blame on Jackson Arnold, stood in the pocket too long, stepped into a sack. Overall, it came from that right side of the line, and it was when these two guys were playing. I want to see improvement there. But going on, I'm going to bring up another running back that I'm going to shout out and I want to watch in this game because we didn't see a whole lot of him. We saw Gavin Sawchuk, number 27, our running back in the backfield. He is going to be the key back. He's going to be the main back this season. So I want to see a better performance from him going forward closer to SEC play. When we go and we play, or I guess when we play Tennessee in Norman, we're going to need Gavin Sawchuk to stand up and to be a leader. We're going to need him to be not just a leader mentality, but we need him to be a leader in numbers on the field. We need him to be our leading back. He has the capability of doing so. And I think Javonte Barnes looked really good. Everything that we heard about him in fall camp, proven based on what we saw last week. Gavin Sawchuk, we haven't really heard much about him. I don't know if maybe they're trying to be careful with him, but he only averaged 2.5 yards per carry with a longest run of 5 yards. So I want to see more from Gavin Sawchuk, and I'm not blaming it on him. I don't think, again, I'm going to reiterate this over and over again. I'm probably going to say it several times today, but that offense was a vanilla offense. The coaches said it. Everyone mentioned it. So that's okay that we didn't have a perfect looking offense out there. I'm okay with that. So overall, I want to see a little bit more production from Gavin Sawchuk, but a couple more players to watch out for. I'm going to group these two guys together because it's a duo that we need, a duo that we haven't had in a long time. And first being our tight end, this obvious starter tight end now, Bauer Sharp. He had the first touchdown last week. I think somebody called that. Remind me if you're watching right now. Remind me who you were if you called Bauer Sharp first touchdown, because I called Deion Burks in last week, and I was almost right. But whoever called Bauer Sharp, you had it right. And the guy that he duos with very well, Deion Burks. We talked about him on this show. We knew what we were going to get from Deion Burks. There was no hiding around the fact that Deion Burks is a playmaker. Did anyone call him getting a hat trick in week 1, though? His first start as an Oklahoma Sooner, did we think that he was going to get a hat trick, get 3 touchdowns? In fact, not just 3 touchdowns, but 3 back-to-back touchdowns. So this guy was a star. We knew he was going to be a star, bigger star than I thought. He didn't really rack up a ton of yards. He didn't even really get the ball a ton. I like the little jet sweeps that we're trying with him. I wish his vision was a little bit better. There was one, I think that first one of the game, I almost think he could have stepped in to let, who was it? It was either an outside lineman or it was Bauer Sharp, possibly, the tight end out there on the outside. If you would have had a little stutter step inside, could have give them time to get that and then work his way to the outside, got upfield for a little more yardage. But overall, I like that. I like that little sweep play. That first play was a reverse even. So love to see that. Love to see what Deion Burks and, this duo, what a duo this was between Deion Burks and Bauer Sharp. Love to see it. I want to see more of it. Very excited to see these two guys. And you know what? We didn't even see a whole lot of Jake Roberts. I kind of expected to possibly see him in a little bit. We didn't even see him much at all. If I assume he was in the game, but I'd have to go back to double check. But regardless, this tight end room is very deep, and the deepest we've had it in a while. So hopefully we can keep a hold of that. Hopefully we can build upon that. It's going to be a lot of fun. But guys, again, we are live, so please comment down below. Again, my producer will show those up on the screen. So let's get it going. Let's be able to get into kind of have a little bit of a chat going here. But going on, we've got Brennan Thompson and JJ Hester. Going to group a couple of guys together to keep this moving. Brennan Thompson, JJ Hester, both I feel like can show some improvement. Brennan Thompson did have a really good route where he was down deep, and Jackson Arnold just undershot the pass. He blew past his defender. If Jackson Arnold puts that out in front, Brennan Thompson probably has a touchdown. But outside of that, I didn't see great route running from Brennan Thompson. But then again, it was a vanilla offense, so we didn't really have to see a whole lot from him. We weren't really going to expect to see a whole lot from him. Don't expect to see a whole lot from this offense this week either. I think it's going to be pretty vanilla, very same to what we saw last week. We're going to open up that playbook against Tulane. I have a very, very strong suspicion from what I've heard, from what I've seen, from what I know. So be ready for that playbook to open up and this offense start to look like the offense we expect come next week. But this week it's going to be pretty vanilla again. But can we get these two guys, Brennan Thompson and JJ Hester, going? Because JJ Hester, if he catches those two passes that he dropped, we're looking at this guy and realizing what a star he can be. He's a transfer from Mizzou, if memory serves me correctly, and a lot of big talk from Brent Venables about JJ Hester and what he's able to do. So I want to see him make those catches, and I know what he's capable of as an athlete. So what are we going to be able to see from these two guys? A young Brennan Thompson, who comes in as a sophomore, and JJ Hester, who I believe is a junior, transferred over. So what are we going to see from these two guys? Because we need them to step up, especially with this wide receiver room with quote-unquote worries around it. Listen, Nick Anderson's fine. They kept him out for precautionary issues last week with a hamstring that they just want to be careful with. Why put him in there when we don't need him? Andrel Anthony had his feet underneath him. He's probably going to be 100% by next week. He's pretty much 100%, but we won't see him running as 100% this week. But so Andrel Anthony, Nick Anderson, we've got those two guys. We know what Deion Burks is made of. We have Bauer Sharp now at tight end, and then Jake Roberts right behind him, who I think can step in and do something special. We know that we could probably utilize Taylor Tatum or Javonte Barnes or Gavin Sawchuk out of the backfield if we need to. I mean, going down the list too. I know we're going to see Brennan Thompson have his shining moments. We know that he has the speed. We also have guys like Zion Reagans, who we didn't really show off too much last week. But and then again, JJ Hester is a guy who let's see what he's capable of this year. And then of course we have Jacques Petaway. I really want to see more of him too, because I don't expect him to really have a whole lot of playtime this year, but him or Zion Reagans. But they're those players that coming into next year, we do want to build on to see what we have next year as well. This is a building process going into the SEC. We want to keep on seeing built up. But wide receiver room, don't worry. I think we're going to be just fine. But let's go over to some players on the defense. You guys can let me know some players that you want to look out for as well, and I will definitely mention those players as well. But over on the defense, starting off with that number 65 defensive tackle, Jaden Jackson, a freshman. How fun was he to watch last week? How fun was it to be able to see that guy flying around and pushing guys around, being aggressive, getting in the backfield, putting pressure last week, and he's just getting started. He's just getting started. We need a guy like him to really shine this year, and especially knowing that he's a freshman, we're going to get him back, and so I want to see him shine this year and see what he's capable of, because we're building around guys like this. We're building around them, so let's get it going. Let's see what Jaden Jackson is truly capable of, and I want to see bigger things from him this week. I want to see how much he's able to do in that interior, because that interior line is going to be the key to our defense overall. So guys like him, and let's throw on another freshman as well, David Stone. Did you guys pay attention to David Stone very closely last week? Because when I was at the game and I saw he came in, I said, all right, let's watch this 5-star kid. I'm kind of curious what he's capable of. And his name didn't, to my recollection, I don't think his name got called. But when you watch him closely, if you see number 0 on that interior defensive line on the field, watch him closely. Because last week, first play in the game, I saw him get triple teamed. But he still drove 3 guys backwards on their heels towards that quarterback and put pressure back there. So I'm really excited for what we're going to see out of David Stone, and I've heard even from guys like Dominic Williams how David Stone and Jaden Jackson, though they're very young and their age may not show, or they're young, but their age doesn't show in their play though. These are guys that are ready for the NFL almost. I mean, you give them a couple of years, they're ready. I believe that. So watch David Stone, that number 0 on the interior of that defensive line when he steps on the field, because you can triple team that guy, but he is tough. He is aggressive. So I'm really excited to watch him. And another guy that I'm excited to watch again this week, and a guy that we talked about, I think I give him, man, it's tough on the defense because there were several guys that I think stood out, obviously. That defense looked great. But that cheetah position, I love the cheetah position. I always have. That's one of my favorites, just what they're capable of doing and how much havoc they can wreak. But Kendall Dolby stepping into that cheetah position, I talked about him before the game last week, and I'm going to talk about him again because he looked as good as I was hoping, if not better, last week. And I want to see Kendall Dolby out there. I want to see him get a sack or two. Kendall Dolby loves getting sacks. He said that himself. He loves getting sacks more than anything. I think I heard him say something along the lines that he would rather get a sack than a turnover. As far as what he feels inside. But I know that he wants turnovers. We talked about that when he tipped the ball up in the air and was ticked off that he didn't catch the ball. He wanted that turnover. He wants it. He is so aggressive and just overall an amazing player. I love Kendall Dolby. I love what he puts out on the field. The aggression, the excitement, the emotion that he puts out on the field. I want to see him get a turnover. I just want to see him get one turnover of some sort, get himself maybe a strip sack, maybe get back there so he gets a sack and a turnover both in one play, get himself an interception if he's there in coverage, something. But I want to see Kendall Dolby. Guys, if you're watching right now, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. We don't have much of a chat going today. I know it's 4 o'clock on a Friday. There's probably some people still at work, but trying to get these live shows figured out exactly what time works best for Sooner fans to tune in. This is our pregame show. We're going to do this every Friday before the game. We might even push it back if it's a night game like we've been having. We might even push these back to Saturday before the game as well if that works better for everyone. That's what we're going to do. But we are working around and trying to figure things out. It's still a new production, so please share this on social media. Share it with a friend. If you have a friend who's also into Oklahoma athletics as a whole, I would say Oklahoma football, but we're going to cover all things Oklahoma, and we will get to it. But it's football season, so we're gonna focus on football. Going on the defense, Kobe McKenzie, middle linebacker. If you see that number 11 out there on defense, watch him closely too, because it's great to see a guy like Kobe McKenzie and even Jaron Kanik out there on the field. Jaron Kanik, number 7, if I'm remembering that correctly. Seeing them out on the field. Kobe McKenzie, I believe he's a sophomore. So knowing that we've got these two young guys, Jaron Kanik, I believe a junior, and then McKenzie, a sophomore, knowing that we've got these two guys in that linebacker position and seeing them shine, because McKenzie was there where he needed to be every play. And that was something that I really enjoyed seeing from him. There's the overall knowledge that he showed. So it was really fun to see him. Kobe McKenzie, I want to see that. Knowing that we're going to lose Stutzman next year, I want to see that linebacker play really stand out and then be able to pass that lineage down. That's ultimately what we're looking for. I think you're seeing that from Danny down to Jaron, and from Jaron over to McKenzie. So I really want to see that keep on going down. Another one, number 22. We got Peyton Bowen back at the safety position. I really liked what I saw from him last week. You saw him make make the plays that he needed to make. He was in the positions that he needed to be in, and he did everything he needed to do. So there's really no gripes with what Peyton Bowen did, but we didn't hear his name called. I don't really think he really had any stats, and he was a starter, and he was out there plenty. So I want to see him get involved in a big play or two. I want to see him in on a big hit. I want to see him tip a ball. I want to see him maybe, I don't know if we're going to send a safety and blitz. I know we saw it with Billy Bowman a couple of times in the past. I don't know exactly what is in store. Zach Alley did a great job. Shout out to him. He did a great job on defense. And Peyton Bowen, though, as a young guy, sophomore, he steps in here and he's starting these first couple of games. I assume starting again. I don't think I ever saw, I was looking around, I don't think I ever saw an official depth chart for week 2, which was very odd. I really wanted to see that and go through that with you guys here, but we don't really have it. And I expect it to be very similar to last week, where you see a bunch of guys get in, a bunch of guys play, and a bunch of movement. We're going to see all kinds of movement all over. But with Peyton Bowen, another thing, I really want to see him return a punt. He had one punt return for 11 yards. Temple knew better. Temple knew who this guy was, and they were rugby kicking that ball. They were making sure that he didn't have any kind of return room. So, hats off to them. They did a good job. They only let him touch the ball once. He only got 11 yards out of it. So, definitely something that, hey, you can only do so much. When you're not getting the ball in your hands, you can't make a play. So, I do want to see him get his hands in on a punt return, because Peyton Bowen, guys, I don't remember who it was. Somebody was telling me I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about because he's not going to be returning punts this season. Guess what? You're wrong. I do know a little bit about what I'm talking about when it comes to the Oklahoma Sooners, and Peyton Bowen being a guy that's going to be returning punts. It's something you're going to see this season. And eventually you're going to see him break free for a really big one. We know what he's capable of because of what we saw back in high school. And he wants that again when he's at the college level, at the collegiate level. So Peyton Bowen, another guy that I'm looking forward to on defense as well as special teams. Let's move over to expectations. Last week, I don't think I set my expectations high enough, but I didn't know what to expect for sure. I didn't really know what marker I should set. I think I said 5 sacks. We got 6. I think we could have gotten more, but we got a lot of pressures. I think we had 9 tackles for a loss. So overall, very happy with what I saw there. Let's start off on offense, though. I didn't really set a whole lot of offensive expectations last week. I just really wanted to see that defense shine, and they did. That defense put the offense over on the other side of the 50 multiple times, 6 turnovers. But let's start off with the offense. I need to see us convert third downs. I've seen some people say that we shouldn't worry about the third downs because of the offense we were running. I get that, but that still concerns me. I don't want to see us punt it at all. Don't want to see us punt it one time. We have to convert on third downs. I know we were pretty good on fourth down. I think, what were we? 3 for 4, 4 for 5, something like that. So I love to see the fourth down conversion looking good, but let's work on third down conversion. We've got to be better in third down efficiency. We have to. I want to see, damn near 100%. I can't see 1 for, what was it, 1 for 12? I can't see that again. It can't. That's unacceptable. I don't care that we won 51-3. That 1 for 12 on third down is why people have doubts about this offense going forward, specifically our fans. The only time I ever want to see us punt is if Jackson Arnold does a little drop kick. I loved that. Loved that little punt that he had. Set our defense up in great position too. So anyways, convert third downs. That's my expectations. Get that efficiency above 70%. It's got to jump. It's got to jump big. Let's not even worry about third down. Let's just get it done on second down. Can we do that? Let's go over to running backs. Let's get one running back. I don't care who it is. It can be Sam Franklin. It doesn't matter. Let's get Caleb Hickson. I don't really care. Get one running back over 80 yards. I just want to see one running back over 80 yards. I don't think that's too much to ask. If I remember correctly, we had Taylor Tatum at right around 68, 70 yards, somewhere in that range. Let's get one guy over 80 yards. One guy, one running back. That's what I want to see. Now, looking back at it last week, I know that, when you look at the rushing and what we had, Taylor Tatum 69 yards. We had Sam Franklin 45 yards. Jackson Arnold had 34 yards of rushing. Javonte Barnes had 33 yards rushing. So we had guys. We had one, two, three, four total guys. Three running backs over 30 plus yards. Two over 40, and then of course Taylor Tatum there with almost 70 yards. So I want to see one running back over 80 yards. That's my expectation for the offense right now. Going on, I want to see 2 plays. Let's have 2 plays, 20 plus yards through the air. 2 plays. We had the one to Deion Burks, and I don't know if we had another big chunk play like that at all. We had a couple of shots that were almost there. I think J.J. Hester drops the one. Brennan Thompson has one underthrown a little bit to him. Couldn't complete that pass. Correct me if I'm wrong. We only had one pass to Jalil Farouk. He's out this year. Let's just get 2 big chunk 20-plus yard pass plays. Maybe I should up that to 4. Let's say 4. Let's have 4 plays, 20-plus yards down the field through the air. I would love to see that on the ground too, so let's kind of improve there. But right now I want to see the passing game because the passing game was just bleh. We didn't see anything special. That's okay. I like playing safe. I like playing to win, get out of the game, play to be safe, play to be injury-free. And it worked pretty well overall last week. So definitely let's do it again. But we have the capability to get these 20-plus yard chunk plays through the air very easily, especially against a Houston team. And last week against Temple, we could have done it too. So let's do that. Let's up that number to 4 20-plus yard plays through the air. That's an expectation for the offense. And another one, just keep it clean, no turnovers, specifically from Jackson Arnold. No turnovers. No turnovers at all. That's unacceptable against this team, against Houston. No turnovers. We didn't have any last week, and let's keep it that way. Let's be clean with the ball, protect the ball. The last one for the offense, the last expectation I have for the offense, no sacks allowed. Last week I said I would allow a sack if it seemed like something maybe Jackson Arnold caused. No more being nice. Not accepting it. No sacks allowed to this Houston defense. And guess what? This Houston team is better than Temple by far. Not by far. Quite a bit. No sacks allowed. 0 sacks allowed. Spencer Brown, Fabechi Wiwu. No sacks, man. No pressure on Jackson Arnold. Come on, let's do it. And Jackson Arnold, some of it goes on you because you're better than that. You're better than this defense, okay? You can escape this defense. I have faith in you. I know you're fast enough. You have wheels. Get out of there. If you have to throw the ball away, I'm okay with that. No sacks. And, of course, no turnovers as well. Going on to the defense. So, I guess, going back, I had 5 expectations for the defense. 3rd down conversions. Let's up our efficiency. 3rd down conversions. 1 running back over 80 yards. We're upping that to 4 pass plays for 20-plus yards. No turnovers and no sacks allowed. 5 expectations that I think we should be able to meet. We'll talk about it after the game, though. We'll talk about it after the game 100%. And then going on to the defense. Last week I said, let's get 2 turnovers. We had 4 in the first half. Let's just set the expectation. I'm not going to expect 6 every game. That's crazy. But let's get 4 turnovers for the defense, special teams, however you want to group that together. Just as a team, the defense, let's get 4 turnovers. And I want to see at least 2 more interceptions as well. I want to see Billy Bowman get his hands on an interception. I know he had the one that Jada would have caught, but let's get 2 interceptions. But overall, 4 turnovers, that's what I'm going to put. I don't really have specific on fumbles or interceptions. I want to see 4 turnovers. We had 6 last week. Let's do 4 this week. Doubling up my expectations on turnovers. Last week we had 9 tackles for a loss. This week, I want to see 10-plus tackles for a loss. That's including sacks. And my expectations for sacks, I want to see 5 sacks. I think I said that last week. I think I said 5 sacks last week. We had 6. I want to see that again this week. I'm going to keep it right there, 5 sacks. Should we be able to get like 8 to 12 sacks? Yeah, we should be able to. If I'm being totally honest, this interior defensive line is so good, and their quarterback is so not inexperienced, but he looks inexperienced out there. Let's go back there and get 5 sacks this week. 10 plus total tackles for a loss. That's what I have for an expectation for this defense going into week 2 against Houston. Another one for the defense. So I've got 4 total on the defense. I was going to do 5 and 5, but I'm just going to put 4 on the defense because, you know what? I expect this defense to just play good overall. Number 3 for the defense expectation, I have no 20-plus yard plays. Nothing. Not a run play, not a pass play, no 20-plus yard plays. This offense is not good enough to get a 20-plus yard play on us. I don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. Let's cut down those big chunk plays. If we allow one that's 18 or 19 yards, guess what? You kept it to my expectation, I guess. No 20-plus yard plays, no chunk plays. Keep that out of here. That's garbage. Don't want to see it. Don't want to hear it. No 20-plus yard plays allowed by this defense. Last one. So I had 4 turnovers, 10-plus tackles for a loss with 5 of those being sacks. Maybe that can be 2 separate expectations if you want to separate them. That way we have our 5. No 20-plus yard plays and no touchdowns. No touchdowns allowed. We didn't allow one last week. I think this offense might be a little bit better. Talent-wise, they're a little bit better. But from what we saw last week, they're not any better than what we saw against Temple. So no touchdowns allowed. I don't want to see any touchdowns. So defense, let's see another big defensive day. If we can get 4 turnovers and allow less than 200 total yards again, man, I'm going to be licking my chops when we come on here for that post-game show. So make sure to stay tuned because after the game on Sunday, we're going to hop on Sunday to talk about the game after the game. So stay tuned for a time frame on that. If you have time recommendations, please drop that down in the comments below. But we're going to jump on Sunday to have our post-game show. Game predictions. Again, give me your score predictions. Give me your overall game predictions down in the comments below, and I will try to get to them. It's been kind of dead, and I understand that. It's a Friday, kind of early evening, so totally understand it's going to be dead. We're trying to find a good time that's going to work for everybody. Last week, I think a lot of people had off. That's why Friday at 1 probably worked for most people because Sooner fans were ready for game 1. But we're going to keep this thing going. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel we do post updates. So if you're curious, hey, I wonder if they're doing one today. We'll try to get that update out in the morning on Friday morning. So check it around 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday mornings, and we'll have an update on our channel for when we're going to go live for our pregame show. And then we'll also tell you if it's going to be on Saturday instead, because maybe we do a couple of Saturday shows. But game predictions. First, Houston will put up a little bit more of a fight than Temple on defense. I think their defense is going to be a little bit better. We're going to be a very vanilla again. I think that's just something I'm expecting. I think that's something that we heard from the coaches throughout the week. But maybe a couple more big plays called. Maybe we open up that playbook just a little bit more. And I think we're gonna improve on third down efficiency. Like I said, that's an expectation of mine. This has been a big emphasis because I think the coaching staff saw that 1 for 12 as well. We're not the only ones that saw it. The coaching staff saw it. They want to improve that as well. So we're gonna see this offense open up just a little bit more, but recognize this defense is going to be a little bit tougher than what Temple gave us. Going on, another prediction, I think Jackson Arnold will not turn the ball over. Yet again, another game, scotch-free. No turnovers from Jackson Arnold. So that's an expectation for me. So that's my prediction. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over. I think he's going to do just fine. And the defense, they're going to show the same energy that we saw last week. I truly believe that. I think that we're going to see the same defense on the field this week. I think we're going to see the same defense next week. It's not going to feel like the same defense against maybe a Tennessee or even going over to Auburn, some better teams. So it's going to feel a little bit different. You're not going to have this defense hold them under the 200-yard mark, if I can get my tongue to cooperate with me today. But it's going to be a defense that's going to be damn good. I'm feeling really good about that. So let's get that defense with the same energy last week. My final score prediction, I've changed this up a couple of times. Let's see. Let's scroll down because I have this in my notes from what I had. My preseason prediction was 45-17 Oklahoma against Houston. That was my preseason prediction. And I told you I'm going to bring these up as we go throughout the season. And as we get closer to game time, I'm going to kind of dive into each team what each team is capable of. I saw what our defense was able to do last week. We're not letting up 17 points. We're not. If we do, I'm pretty disappointed. So I'm changing that up. I do think their defense is a little bit better than what I was predicting. I said 45. Let's move that down to 42 points for us, and we only allow 6. That gives us, let's say that they get those little bit of gains there, some garbage points. We saw that last week. They got a field goal on us. That sucked. I want to see us allow 0 points. That's what I want. But my game prediction, I'm just going to say 42-6, Oklahoma. Oklahoma comes away with this. They cover the spread. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm very excited, guys. Again, it's going to be the first game on the SEC network for the Oklahoma Sooners. That's big news. I don't know how much that means to you guys, but it means a lot to me, and it should mean a lot to a lot of us. I'm not sure if we just didn't have any chats coming in this live stream. Maybe you guys were driving, just listening in the car, whatever the case is. But go ahead, if you're watching this after we've been done live, please drop a comment down below. Let's see those comments roll through. You can also check out our game preview with Parker Ainsworth. He's with Locked On Cougs. So he's a Cougar guy. He's a Houston guy. We had him come on, talk to us a little bit about the Houston Cougars if you want to hear a little bit more about them and what to expect from them. Guys, please drop that comment down below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when we go live. Like I said, it's going to be kind of all over the place until we find time frames that work the best. So it's all kind of a study game right now. We're a new production, so please share the show just with one person, with one friend that's going to enjoy some Sooner content. Share it on social media, whatever the case may be. We appreciate all of you guys for all of your support. If you want to support us even further, go down below to the link down in the description for our merch store. We've got things like the hat that I'm wearing right now, Boomer Sooner 2024, because it's election season. Why not vote for Boomer Sooner to run the SEC country? We've also got a Plant Your Flag t-shirt that I think has gotten a lot of buzz. I think a lot of people like that one. It's one of my favorites. I think that one turned out really, really fun, really awesome. We've got so much more over there. Helps support this show so much. And right now in the growing stage, we need you guys' support more than ever. And again, we want to build a community. Let us know either in the comments down below. Reach out to me on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. DM me over there or email us, SoonerSpotlightPod@gmail.com. Let us know how you want to build that community. Would it be best on Discord, Facebook group? How do you guys want to build a community? Let's get a community built, because this is not a show where I want to talk at you guys. I want to talk with you guys. Thank you all so much for all your support. We're very excited to see the Sooners go over there and cover the spread against the Houston Cougars. I believe that's all we got for you guys today. Appreciate you all so much for your support. Boomer.